Still got people trickling in. Excuse me, please. We're going to do a 1-minute warning and we're going to get started. We're going to be calling this meeting to order of the Board of Education, October 15th, 6:03 p.m. Could I have a roll call, please?
Yes, you may. Denise Jones,
Yes.
Rachel Merriquin, present. Lauren Dowden,
Present.
Dr. Michael Thomas,
Present.
O'Neill Gray,
Present.
David Shepard, Michael Allmiller, all are present.
Thank you. Could you please all stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. If the board could please review the agenda, and if there are no additions or deletions, could I have a motion to approve the agenda?
A motion.
Second.
Beautiful. May I have a roll call, please?
O'Neill Gray.
Aye.
Dr. Michael Thomas.
Yes.
Lauren Dowden,
Yes.
David Shepard,
Yes.
Rachel Merriquin, yes. Denise Jones,
Yes.
Michael Allmiller.
Yay.
Motion passed.
Excellent. All right, we're going to jump right in with staff reports. Dr. Woodland, please take it away.
Right. So my first update for this evening is our first update for this school year with our two of our 8th grade student advisory board members. Yay!
Hi, I'm Evelyn Shimmick. I'm in 8th grade and I went to Southwest Elementary School.
Hi, my name is Marielle Scudder. I am also in 8th grade and I went to Southeast Elementary School. And Evelyn and I are here to talk about the new clubs we have created at Central Middle School to help grow our school's community.
In the past, I've talked to a lot of students about wanting a drama club, and I also have wanted a drama club. And now Central will be having its first spring production this year. Because Central doesn't have a stage, I was hoping that we could borrow that high school stage to have our first production. We would also have all grade levels be in the musical so no one feels left out. We also have several teachers that would be able to help us out with the show. We should have auditions after winter break and start rehearsals in January. And I would like the show sometime before spring break so it doesn't clash with the 8th grade graduation. We've also asked Dr. William for a budget, and I would also like to ask you, the board, if you would be willing to contribute to the budget. Thank you.
After discussing with my fellow student board members about new clubs we would like to create and add to our middle school, I brought up the idea of a dance club to engage students and get them moving. After running this through my group, my principal, and our dean, I was able to obtain my sponsor and start planning my group. So far, we have determined that this group will take place right after we resume from winter break, and people who participate in this group will learn combinations and practice skills. This will benefit both physical and mental well-being. I want to thank everyone involved in this club for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we unfortunately had 2 others that were unable to make it last minute, but hopefully they can come in November. But we've been in search of 7th graders, and we will be enlisting their support with formal invitations to come next week. Yes, and you of course can get your cupcakes. Thank you so much.
Very well spoken.
Thanks, ladies.
Love it.
Yes. right, next up on the agenda is a reminder of Unity Day. So Unity Day is a day to show support for bullying prevention and to send a message of kindness, acceptance, and inclusion. So this is a reminder to all to wear and share orange next week, Wednesday, October 22nd. This was an initiative that we started last year and we look forward to continuing. We will also send out community notifications and staff notifications for a reminder to wear and share orange next Wednesday. All right. Next, we have a recognition of our teachers earning tenure. So we have quite the list this year. We actually, I believe, have 18, right, Sonia? Which is so exciting because what that shows and demonstrates to me is A, a commitment to teaching and learning by our teachers and staff, and B, a commitment to our principals to really supporting our teachers and recognizing what it takes to really be the great educators that they are. And so I'm gonna go through the list, and we did invite them to all attend if they were able to, and so we do have lovely certificates that Michael and I will hand out. And so I'm gonna go through each. So first is Sarah Heflin. If she's in the audience, I don't see her. Oh, we'll clap for everyone. Congratulations, Sarah. Rob Leininger, he's fabulous. We're so grateful to have him. Congratulations, Rob. Nora McIntosh. Congratulations, Nora. Myra Villanueva. Congratulations. Megan Coleman. Congratulations. Bridget Doherty. Laura Hamilton. Caitlin Hurley. Patricia Klein. Stephen Reed. Amanda Carberry. Sarah Gonzalez. Cassandra Larson. Would you like to come get your certificate? Yay! I was like, I know she's seen it. Yay, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so
Dora Pra. Allie Banks. Yay! Congratulations, Allie. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Grace. Thanks for coming, Grace.
Thanks, Barry.
Sarah Tobin. Lindsay Medema. And that is all. So give everyone a round of applause. And we will make sure that they receive their certificates of appreciation. We are so grateful to have them on our staff and for us to all continue and learn and grow together. So next, the month of October, or actually next week, is Principal Recognition Week. And of course, as always, I could write a lovely speech, but not as lovely as our staff and our students. So we have asked some of our proud teachers to represent and share with us what their principals mean to them. And so I'm going to start with Northwest. So our representative for Northwest, if you would like to come up, that would be awesome. Hi, ladies. Thank you so much for coming.
Dora, you want us to space this way?
This way would be great.
Oh,
We all know who you're talking about.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Our names are, I'm Siobhan. This is Cassie.
Emily.
And we are teachers at Northwest Elementary. We wanted to take a moment to recognize someone who truly makes our school a better place every single day, and that is our amazing principal, Dr. Bannock.
We can always count on Dr. Bannock to be supportive, knowledgeable, and somehow everywhere at once. Whether he's in classrooms helping out, jumping in for Rocker School Week, or making sure everything runs smoothly, he's always right there beside us.
The students absolutely love him too, especially when they get a chance to play with him one-on-one basketball. They look forward to those games, even though most of the times he does come out on top. What makes it even better is that he knows every student's name. And it's not just that, he knows their interests too. He uses that to build real connections and make every student feel seen and valued.
We also look forward to the holidays when Dr. Bannock plans scavenger hunts, team building challenges, and all sorts of silly competitions. We love the games he comes up with, and sometimes, most of the time, the staff gets really competitive.
And we can always count on one more thing. No matter the day or the event, Dr. Bannock will always be wearing a collared shirt. Even on spirit days, you'll find that collar tucked nearly under his gear.
Dr. Bannock is also the ultimate organizer. He has a spreadsheet for literally everything, and somehow he can pull up the exact one we need in less than 10 seconds. It's kind of like his super secret power, and we're convinced that he dreams in spreadsheets. Between that and his Mustang Matters newsletters that we get weekly, he keeps our entire school running smoothly and keeps the rest of us from completely losing our minds.
So he also leads by example when it comes to caring for our school. One day we noticed him rolling up his dress shirt sleeves and pulling weeds outside. Just another reminder that he's always willing to get his hands dirty for our community. Dr. Bannock, thank you for everything you do, for being a leader, a listener, a role model, and a constant source of support for both students and staff. We are so lucky to have you, Dr. Bannock.
Next up, I would love to hear from Southeast.
Good evening. My name is Patty Byrne Solomon, and I'm here to share a few words in anticipation of Principal Appreciation Day. For those of you who don't know me, I've been a teacher for over 30 years. I've spent 27 of those years here in District 124 here at Southeast. So you can imagine I've seen a few learning initiatives, worked with a variety of administrators, and made lifelong friendships. Heard some stories and bonded with amazing children and families. In anticipation of Principal Appreciation Day, I wanted to take this opportunity to acknowledge those who have helped guide me through my teaching journey. I started with Jan Whiting, Jatan Wolverton, Tim Sheldon, Scott Liska, Carrie Berry, and Haley. Starting with, Scott, Dr. Bannock and Dr. Moeller, I haven't had the pleasure, but thank you for what you do. Scott, I wanted to take this opportunity to listen to me during times of frustration and giving me a sense of calm and faith when I knew everything would be okay after talking to you. And Carrie, you were a guiding force, a friend, an example of what was possible. To you, I am truly grateful. Haley, I haven't forgotten you. It's just gonna take me a minute to get there. Dr. Woodland, you often refer to us as a district family, 124's family to me. You truly are a family. As a principal, I'm gonna get a little emotional. Haley, you have taken on the quote-unquote mom figure. We are a family, you are our mom. First, you might think mom Can I have this? Mom, can I have that? Mom, we need. Mom. I think you get the point. However, being a mom can be the greatest gift a child of any age can have. Haley, as a mom of Southeast, you have shown kindness, compassion, empathy, warmth, resilience, and love. And today, in honor of a Principal Appreciation Day, I have two small gifts. Grace has got one. I have a small jar to be a reminder, hang on a second. I have two small gifts to share with you in the hope that it will remind you that as a mom, you have shown seeds of hope in all of us. In this jar, you will find a pine cone to represent the seeds that you have sown, and 322 pennies filled with good wishes to represent the children you care for each day. As a second gift, I have a book called All from a Walnut. And this story is about a young girl named Amelia who finds a walnut one morning, and her grandpa tells the story behind it. He tells of his journey across the ocean to a new home with only a bag and a nut in his pocket. And step by step, Grandpa teaches Amelia how to cultivate her own seed. But as her little seed grows, Grandpa begins to slow down until one day, Amelia must say goodbye. At the end of this year, I too will go and say goodbye. So I wanted to say thank you to you because you've taught me gratitude. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Patty, you can always change your retirement again. All right, next up, why don't we switch to Central? Dr. Moeller, I have to announce, it's her daughter's birthday, and so I always, if there's ever a board meeting, I take the stance that family is first, and so she was at work today, but she's at home with her daughter tonight, so I'm sure she will rewatch tomorrow.
Good evening, school board. First, I want to start by saying thank you to the school board for inviting me to this meeting to talk about our spectacular principals, Dr. Moeller and Ms. Lavin. Dr. Moeller respects and listens to not only the students of Central Middle School, but also the teachers and staff. Ms. Lavin listens to students' needs and helps guide them to achieve their goals. For example, I wanted to become a school store manager during lunch, and she guided me on the correct path for me to become one. From my experiences with Dr. Moeller, she has shown me nothing but respect. Her kind morning greetings when I see her in the hall, her friendly morning questions, and her willingness to listen. Dr. Moeller is a principal who leads with respect and kindness, and for that, I hold a lot of respect for her. Their kindness and bold personalities make me feel like someone truly cares about me coming to school. That's why I want to wish them an awesome Principal's Day.
Hi, my name is Mackenzie Priestman, and I'm a 6th grader student at Central Middle School. I would like to start by thanking the Board of Education for having me here to tell you how great of a principal Dr. Moeller is. Dr. Moeller and Ms. Lavin. When I first met Dr. Moeller at Meet the Teacher Night, I knew it was going to be a great year. Dr. Moeller is very kind. I've seen her help so many students throughout the school year. I have only been at Central for 2 months, and I already love it here because of the kindness shown by Dr. Moeller and Ms. Lavin. Next, they both have amazing school spirit. Ms. Lavin plans great spirit weeks to make Central a fun place to learn. It's fun watching the students shoot up so they can hear the end of the announcements and Dr. Moeller's famous Go Panthers to begin the school day. Lastly, they are dedicated. They work the whole week and still keep a smile on their face even when the students are worn out from a long week of school. They make school seem less like a school and more like a home. As you can see, Dr. Moeller and Ms. Lavin make Central great for the students, teachers, and support staff. I would like to thank both Dr. Moeller and Ms. Lavin for all that they do for Central Middle School. Thank you again for having me here today.
All right, good morning, good evening, members of the board, superintendents, colleagues. my wonderful students. I stand before you today to express on behalf of our school community a deep gratitude and admiration for the outstanding leadership that Dr. Jenna Muller and Miss Christina Lavin have brought to Central Middle School. Over the past 2 years, Dr. Muller has served as principal, and for the past 3 years, Ms. Lavin has served as our dedicated associate principal. Together, they have created a leadership team that is both visionary and grounded. One that has truly transformed our school's culture, consistency, and communication. When Dr. Muller stepped in her role, she and Ms. Lavin inherited both opportunity and challenge. Together, they took on responsibility of not only guiding academic growth, but also strengthening culture, relationships, systems, and support structures. Under their shared leadership, the district has embraced a new leadership framework in the building, introducing dean positions to support instruction, behavior, student life, and restorative practices. Dr. Muller, Ms. Lavin, and their team have intentionally reduced student referrals by more than half, creating a safer and more focused learning environment. Communication with families have been enhanced. For example, the weekly Central Connections, the newsletter keeping families informed on classroom updates, school events, and social emotional supports. Both leaders ensure their doors are open, welcoming new staff, supporting returning educators, and staying visible in hallways each day. Their presence and accessibility remind students and staff that leadership is about connection, not distance. Together, they have been steady, guiding curriculum, assessment, staffing, and instructional coherence with a clear vision and a shared sense of purpose. But beyond the metrics and structural changes lie what truly matters: the shift in culture. Under Dr. Muller and Ms. Lavin's leadership, there is a new feeling among students and staffs that they are seen, supported, and held to high expectations. Central Middle School is now more cohesive, more proactive, more relational, and more focused on both academics and social emotional growth. As a community, we are seeing momentum. As a district, we are fortunate to have a leadership team that models partnership, clarity, compassion, and rigor. The combined contributions of Dr. Muller and Ms. Lavin echo beyond the walls of Central Middle School. The ripple effects of their work build trust, stability, and upward trajectory for the entire District 124. So I ask today you to join me in recognizing Dr. Jenna Muller and Ms. Christina Lavin, not just for what they have already accomplished, but for what they continue to build every single day. We look forward to many more years of their shared leadership, vision, and care. Thank you so much.
Hi, good evening. Mine's a little bit short and sweet. So when I was asked to share some words about Jenna and Chris for Principal Day and Principal Week, the answer was immediately a yes, because they are so deserving, and I don't think that we tell them enough how much we appreciate them. Central has seen such a positive shift in our school culture, and a lot of that change is because of their leadership. I asked some of my colleagues what words come to their mind when they think of Jenna, and none of what they offered was surprising. Some of my personal favorites were girl boss, intentional, collaborative, supportive, understanding, articulate, and of course, a Swiftie. My favorite thing about Jenna is the fact that she greets her staff with a smile and asks how she can support her teachers, and she means it. I can honestly say that I've never felt more connected and were seen by an administrator, and I cannot thank her enough for that. CMS would not be the same without Jenna. Chris is an individual that staff and students feel completely comfortable to go to no matter what the situation is. She truly embodies what we work so hard to teach and instill in our students day in and day out of being kind and respectful towards everyone. She is truly a positive Panther who is ready to take on anything that comes her way. Chris is such a light at CMS, and she has built an environment in which students are excited to come to. Students are engaged in our social emotional learning lessons, and it shines through in our school, and Chris is a large part of this. We are so lucky to have such a compassionate and understanding leader in her. Happy National Principals Week.
All right, how about Southwest? No.
I was like, no one.
Well, I'm gonna follow up with the person that I talked to, and I'm gonna speak about Scott. And then I'm gonna have Haley, Carrie, and Matt all chime in because I know they can help me. So Scott is a person that I absolutely look up to, and the reason why is because he is an administrator who is driven by relationships. And when he is a person who walks into a room, what Scott wants to do is he wants to connect with kids and he wants to put teachers first. Something that I know about Scott is that he is here to be dedicated to everything related to Southwest, and I couldn't be more proud of his actions every single day. So thank you so much, Scott, for being here. All right, Carrie, your turn.
And Scott's our go-to for numbers.
That's what I was
And our finances, like helps us with our finances, and he's just really overall, just a genuinely caring, kind person inside and out.
Yes.
And I feel like, he's been a mentor to me, and we kind of like, I worked under him, like as a teacher, he was my assistant principal, and then our roles changed, when we were both hired on, in COVID. So thankful for him and his expertise and his patience to explain things to me over and over again, and to help remind me of deadlines and things that are coming up. So, yes, thanks, Scott.
Haley?
When I think of Scott too, I think about his ability to connect with people. He always puts others first, and I think just not only for his staff, but I think for fellow principals as well. You can always, if you call Scott, he's always gonna call you back. He's gonna be available to help you with whatever you need.
Great. And Dr. Bannock.
I think he always puts students first, and he is very good about seeing different sides of different issues, and he always, his famous phrase is like always assume positive intentions, and I think that's a good leadership model to have. Does a great job.
I worked under Scott as a teacher for 3 years, and there was never a time when I didn't walk in. His door's always open, and you just kind of pop your head in. You're like, hey, you got a minute? And he always does. Even when it means he's putting his laptop away or the amount of paperwork he's working on, it's like, he's like, yep, I got a minute. And it's consistent for every teacher and every student. He's always open to new ideas. Anything we can do to help students, like he's just, there's never a no. So he's always willing to help and change and grow, and he really respects his teachers a great deal. So it's great to work under him, and now to work beside him has been a real privilege.
Back here.
Well, I worked with Scott for a short time for an interim position last fall as his assistant principal, and I have to say it was very helpful when learning. It was October kind of thrown in there, and he would always go, "What are we gonna do?" and really helped me brainstorm and problem solve, and guided me and trusted me. So, thanks, Scott.
As most of these principals know, I am very passionate about my job, and I get a little heated when things don't go the way I kind of want them to go.
So I don't have to call anybody.
So when I wasn't able to go to the other principal, Scott was the assistant principal, and I went to him on many occasions, and we talked often, and he always talked me off the ledge. And let me know that it was gonna be okay, so I am truly
Fabulous, thank you guys.
Yes.
He was my principal
Oh my God.
for 3 years and it was really fun going to Southwest because there was a bunch of activities for holidays and everything, and he just made the building a really warm place.
Well, thank you so much, sweetie, that was amazing. All right, last and not least, Northeast.
Good evening. My name is Bronwyn Azarello, and I'm a 5th grade teacher at Northeast. I've only been with the district for 2 years, but I have been a teacher for almost 30, and I've worked with many principals. I can honestly say I hit the jackpot when I received a position at Northeast to work for Carrie Berry. It's not every day that we get the opportunity to pause and reflect on the people who make a lasting impact, not just in their roles, but in our lives. Today, I want to take a moment to speak from the heart about what it means to work with a principal who leads with kindness, supports their staff, understands their team, and above all, encourages us every step of the way. Working in education is more than a job. It's a calling, a commitment, and let's be honest, sometimes a daily challenge. But when you have a leader who not only sees that, but stands beside you through it all, it changes everything. From day one, your leadership has been marked by empathy. You listen not just to our words, but to what's behind them. You recognize our hard work, even when you don't say it out loud. You notice when we're tired, when we're overwhelmed, or when we need that quiet encouragement to keep going. And you always offer it without hesitation, without judgment. Your support isn't just in the big decisions, it's in the small, consistent ways you show up. Checking in, asking how we're doing, offering a helping hand when we're juggling more than we can carry. You lead with heart, and the heart creates a school culture where people feel safe to grow, to speak, to try, and even fail. But perhaps what we're most grateful for is the way you encourage us. You remind us that we're capable even when we doubt ourselves. You see potential in each member of this staff and push us, gently but purposefully, toward it. You celebrate our wins, and when we face setbacks, you're there reminding us that we're not alone and that we'll get through it together. You encourage creativity, collaboration, and reflection. You encourage us to be better teachers, better colleagues, and better people. And you just don't talk about values like respect, compassion, and excellence, you live them. Because of your leadership, our school is not just a workplace, it's a community, a family, a place where people feel empowered to be their best selves. On behalf of us all, thank you for your kindness, your strength, your unwavering support, and the belief that you have in every single one of us. Thank you for leading with both wisdom and warmth and for creating an environment where people can truly thrive. It's an honor to work with you and to learn from you.
Good evening, board members and residents of Evergreen Park. My name is Holly DeBose and I attend Northeast Elementary School. Today I want to tell you why Mrs. Berry should be celebrated as a great principal. Mrs. Berry is always kind and positive. She makes sure she starts her mornings with a good vibe with her morning messages and gets us ready for the day. She encourages us to do our best and go for the gold. And speaking of gold, she's also really funny. She came to the classrooms playing the song Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters, along with Golden Mountain for the teachers. As a good leader, she works with the other staff in our Lions Pack to make sure we have great and fun activities and programs like Kindness Club, Taekwondo, Running Club, and many more. She also keeps our parents up to date with her berry briefs. My final reason why I know Mrs. Berry should be celebrated is because she's almost always available, and if there are ever any problems, she's great at problem solving. It all makes Northeast a great place to look forward to going to. Thank you, and remember to go for the gold.
Well, thank you so much for all of your contributions this evening. I could not have said or done any of this better, so I just greatly appreciate you showing up and being here and supporting our team. And of course, we have swag. And the swag is gonna go out to all members of our admin team, and that's because there's not a fancy director day or a fancy Eric day. So everyone gets a sweatshirt, and we wanted to show our appreciation for all the leaders in this room, and thank you so much for everything that you do. So we'll call you up.
Carrie Berry,
Mr. John Jensen,
Dr. Bannock,
Danielle Weston,
Go stadium style.
Go stadium
Ms.
style.
Chris Lavin,
I got Bannock right here. Dr. Carlson.
Miss Haley,
You're welcome. Dan.
Mr. Liska.
Thank you so much.
Eric Rossi. Amanda Hattar. It's because I threw it too hard. Thanks.
Miss Brittany Vienna. Miss Laura Sullivan. Here's yours, Chris. Thank you.
Megan Locke.
Thank you. For your positivity. Thank you.
Becky.
So fancy, right? Jim Hennessy. Great job. Jim. Did Amanda get one? Why do I have extra? Extra? With no tags.
A couple tags fell off, so. Still. Julie, did you get yours?
Did you get yours?
Sorry, I couldn't hear.
Julie? There's a couple tags that must have fallen off. Patricia! Julie?
Here's a Julie tag.
Yeah, tags fell off.
I can catch two.
I don't know, we'll just check the size. You don't want that. Okay. Yay!
By the way, I just gotta get this in there before you fully on. We really need to make sure that those two are board members next year. People can spoke at Central because
Yeah.
those young leaders are ready.
Yes, of course. I need to get their names. 3 or the 2? Okay.
When was the sixth grader?
Yeah, well, next
Okay.
year.
7. Okay. All right, on to National Lunch Week. Julie.
This is the second year in a row that I had to go behind some swag. Thank you for
Got
that.
it. We can put you before next time.
Good evening. I'm here to recognize and celebrate National School Lunch Week, a time to recognize the importance of school meals and the incredible people who make them possible. This week is to promote the importance of a healthy school lunch in a child's life. It not only provides nutrition and satisfies their hunger, but it plays a very important role in the child's learning. For many children, this may be the only meal they receive during the day, so making it nutritious and enjoyable is very important. We have 5 team members at elementary schools and 5 at Central Middle School that work behind the scenes and go above and beyond to make sure our students have a healthy and nutritious lunch. Their work is not only critical, it is a foundation to student success. This past year, we have added an extra item onto the elementary lunch menu, so they have 3 items to choose from, hot, cold, and a breakfast bag. Our middle school students can also choose from 5 items a day, which include salads and wraps. We also added an a la carte to the middle school menu, which has been very, very popular and has also been welcomed by the staff due to the students having to behave and wear IDs to enable them to purchase a la carte. Who would have thought middle school kids would enjoy reduced fat chips, reduced sugar fruit by the foot, or reduced sugar ice cream? But they are. And as you can see, the lines are wrapped around in the cafeteria for them to get their ice cream on Fridays. As we celebrate this week, I'd like to thank the board for your continued support of child nutrition programs in our district. Your decisions help us deliver better food and build better futures. I would like to leave you with a few pictures to show how happy we have made our students and teachers in bringing back a la carte.
Great.
You took a picture of it already?
That's good, thank you.
I've heard all about the ice cream.
That's why.
Of course.
Make sure you have money in the account so I can get the ice cream.
All right, next up we have Miss Amanda Hattar to talk about our very successful Hispanic Heritage Month event.
Hello.
Hi.
So we have a few district-wide events going on this school year to celebrate and highlight different cultures. We just had our first one, which was the Hispanic Heritage one at Northeast. We had, I think it was a few more than this, but we had around 110 community members and students that came out. Those were the ones that grabbed a raffle ticket, so I'm sure there was like a little bit more than that. But 110, 54 from Northeast, 19 from CMS, 13 from Southeast, 11 from Southwest, 10 from Northwest, and 3 from the high school. Which was nice.
Yeah.
So we had a mariachi band from Calmeca Academy. These students practiced so hard for this performance, so it was nice to have students perform at the event. We had tacos, we had loteria, which is Mexican bingo. We had raffle prizes, and we had 4 rooms, a salsa room, a movie room, a book and craft room, and then a flags coloring room. So it was a successful event thanks to Evelyn Lara, Dr. Carlson, Chris Lavin, Yvonne, and Brittany Vienna for helping plan and implement the event. And special shout out to Dr. Woodland and the elementary principals for their visibility at the event and supporting the event. So yeah. Oh, shout out to our next event, which is Culture Night, and that is gonna be December 4th at CMS at 6 p.m.
I was in a foundation meeting today and they said the prizes were a huge hit, Amanda, so thank you for all of your work to this event. And next, we have an update from our deans, Mr. Jensen and Miss Danielle Weston, regarding our discipline data. Yay, discipline! The reduction of discipline, right?
All right, how's everyone doing? So looking at the trend just on the right, to start off with the graph on the right, you can see there's a significant just reduction in general. So 2024 is in the yellow and green is this year, just broken down by month. So if you're looking at August, we had a 49% decrease of referrals in general, and with a 50% decrease in number of students who receive referrals. So the students that were receiving those referrals were kind of repeat offenders and not as many students as compared to last year. But if you look into September, that's really, we're gonna see a dip in what's going on, and what we're doing is actually working. So we had a 73% decrease of referrals, so and then you had a 67% decrease of students. So again, making sure our tier 1 supports and tier 2 supports are really supporting those students in their locations, and making sure that, like they previously just talked about in their presentations, that students can learn in the classroom now. And a lot of that is handled within the classroom, and people are able to get what they need done. So our key focuses was looking at our progressive discipline matrix and implementing that last year, and now this year having it as something that is visible for everyone to see, and for students to understand it, families to understand it, for staff to understand it and be very clear, and you'll see in the 3 C's we talk about in a second. And like Dr. Moore says, clear is kind, so having that expectation of the progressive discipline matrix out there so everyone understands how does it work, where does it go, what happens next, and outside of just the consequence side of it, I know that's kind of usually your discipline and consequence, but there are supports built in along the way each step, and making sure that those are met each time something happens, so we are supporting those students and not like a lunch detention or 1 hour as just the consequence piece, but actually a restorative piece where we worked with Ms. Lavin, and she's done a lot of restorative work and having paperwork and different things done for the students to work on and do in those places. So it's not just a place you go and sit for 30 minutes or 1 hour. Even today we had a couple 2 hours kids serving them, but not a place you just go and sit on a game or whatever they're doing, but truly work towards fixing whatever caused them to have those consequences. Next thing we really focused on was building rapport, and that goes with staff and students. So just being in the hallways, talking with the students, talking with staff, making sure that they know that we're on their side, we're comfortable with them, they're comfortable with us. Our doors are always open for staff and students, so if there are any issues or concerns, they know to come down to us. And I think that has led to a big decrease in those behaviors that we see, because before they get to a level of I'm getting a consequence or we're getting in an argument or these different things, students are able to now kind of come down to us and feel safe with us, email us and say, hey, so-and-so just said this to me, I don't want to go and react to them, what can I do? So we'll call them down, problem solve it, mediate it, do whatever we need to do to fix those situations. And same thing with staff too, that if they're not sure in a situation with what's going on, they reach out to us, make sure that everything is handled the way it should, so then going forwards, it doesn't get repeated again. The bigger part of it here though, I would say, is almost building the capacity. So a lot of these things that in the past might have been sent down to the office or even ignored, teachers now are very capable, and we've been working with a lot of teachers one-on-one on different things, of handling the classroom behaviors in the classroom and not needing to elevate it beyond that. So they can correct the behavior, move on from it in the lesson. If they need to hand out a consequence, they can. And it's something, again, with just being clear that the students know, okay, I messed up, this is kind of the next step in line, and there's not really as much pushback there. So the teachers can continue that lesson, and most of the time it does fix or correct the behavior in the moment. So they're able to now work with those students in the classroom instead of making it an outside of the classroom issue. And then the last thing was really addressing the dress code issue. You see the numbers from last year, there were a lot of issues with IDs. And the more we sat back and thought about it, IDs were less of a behavior or defiance piece, but it was more of just an executive functioning piece. So looking at it this year and looking at, hey, what is the true issue here that we're looking at with these? And we were able to kind of address that from the jump and put new policies and practices in place that is supporting the students in place of being like, hey, this is your third no ID, here's a lunch detention, oh, here's another one, here's a 1 hour. Clearly, if a student's at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 IDs, it's not an issue of like, oh, I'm not listening to you, it's a executive functioning thing. Like there's something there that we need to help them with. So we've kind of really addressed that, which has also brought down a lot of referrals this year too. And then the 3 C's, I can't take credit for this one, Ms. Weston here came up with the C's, which I liked because it fits kind of what we do exactly with consistency, communication, and just being clear. And that's across the board. With the discipline matrix, we stay very consistent with what we're doing. There is no surprises from what happens, even when a student comes in or if there is a situation where we have to call home. We tell the parent what exactly is going on in the moment, but what the next step is just in case something would happen again. So it is very clear. Making sure that we do have open communication, really streamlined our communication this year, that to staff, to parents, to students, everything is the same if you're gonna talk to me, to Ms. Weston, Ms. Lavin, or Dr. Moeller. So if you talk to any of us, it's very consistent, and again, just keeping the element of surprise isn't there anymore. You know exactly where you're at within the system. Teachers know exactly where the kids are at within the system. So it's really done a really good job this year kind of helping students deter the behavior, because they know, hey, I'm at the 3 hour mark already. If I do one more thing, I'm looking at it in school. I don't want to go past that line. And for a lot of students, past the lunch detention is good enough for them, and they don't want the 1 hour. So dealing with that is really nice. And then this year too, coming into it, last year having the new dean position and new structure, it was more of the learning experience. This year where we could be more proactive rather than reactive on a lot of things. So in the beginning of this year, even just coming into it, we know there was about 40 students that we sat down, Danielle and myself, in the beginning of the year and met with, just to start off the year on a good foot, a good note, and say, hey, we're excited to see you here again this year. Let's make sure that we're on the right track. It's a new year. We're gonna flush last year if it was a rough year. If it finished strong, continue that momentum, and kind of came up with plans individually with students. And I feel like that went a long way with building that rapport with the kids, because at least for myself, I knew them from last year, but with Danielle coming in new this year, it was a really good point for some of maybe the highest flyers that we would have down in our office. She was able to touch base with them right away and have that positive interaction be the first thing they dealt with. and not a negative one. So they weren't getting kicked out of class, or they weren't giving a lunch detention or something like that. It was, hey, what's up? How you doing? How's your summer? What can we do to help support you this year? And it was more of a collaborative piece between us and the students, and less of, like I said, a responsive. So, yeah. And then I'll turn over to my partner here.
And I'm just gonna go over some more of the action items that we did to help reduce. So we reduced the passing period from 4 minutes to 3 minutes to help limit downtime and reduce the hallway issues. We established a new culture and climate committee as a part of our school improvement team, which is on October 31st. We have our first initiative recognizing students with 1 or fewer referrals, and I believe right now for the kids that are not participating, it's only 29 kids that are not participating out of the 566 kids in the building. So we have our Out of the Blue Days and our quarterly incentive assemblies, as well as the Student of the Month. We implemented common language with the 3 Ds, which is defiance, disrespect, and disruption, which helps the teachers know how to deal with it. We can say, is it disruption? So we can have that meeting restorative conversation as well, so we can partner with them. We also increased school-wide routines during those unstructured times. So we have lunch supervisors and the always transitions to make sure the hallway visibility is always seen. We made sure that our in-school suspension is effective by having a steady staff member, so they don't see it as just a free time. It's actually a time to reflect, and they reflect the whole time. They have a schedule where they go by and they're like, I don't want to reflect anymore. We also have introduced the Dean's Groups and the Dean's Challenge. The Dean's Groups help just provide that behavior and social and emotional, build that rapport with the students and just help them manage building relationships, emotional skills, and making respectful choices. And the Dean Challenge are just ways to motivate the students to take pride in their daily actions, part of the 3 R's. So we had one recently, which was Ready to Learn. They had to have their IDs as well as 90% charged Chromebooks. And we had them by teams to see who won. The 8th graders won for that one, and they get their prize on Friday. And then we also are working closely with the Student Support Service Department to make sure that we are collaborating all on the same line, that piece. And we are maintaining Tier 2 and Tier 3 fidelity and making sure our discipline practices are fair, consistent, and data-driven to make sure that everything is on board. So that is how right now we are making sure that we are decreasing each month.
I like that. And before y'all disappear, I'd like to add something. I'm cheering.
We never running away.
No, just real quick. And I'm quite sure my board members will reflect this with me. About 2 years ago, about this time, we were sitting here literally trying to pull our hair out, how much left, trying to figure out what to do with Central. I mean, the community was and we were like, we don't really have a solution right now. So Dr. Woodland said, hey, let's try this. Those numbers you all just put up, that's amazing. And I know those are real numbers because the community is not in our ear anymore.
That was gonna be my response.
They're not in our ear anymore. So I don't know what you all are doing. Just like double it, keep on 10 times whatever you all are doing. And another thing, we just recently had a safety and security meeting that we just
Yes.
attend. I did, Dr. Woodland, and we did speak about rapport. There's something that we're working on and we want to build rapport, for certain other things. I would like to invite, with Dr. Woodland's permission, of course, in the future, to you all to come out to one of the committee meetings, just to tell us what key things you all are doing with the rapport.
Yeah.
Some of the things that maybe you all have seen, on the safety side of the school, so we can be kind of in tune as to what you all may need that we can get for you.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Let's come.
Thank you so much.
Anyone else want to run away?
Make sure you get a cupcake. Thank you so much. And Danielle, did you want to tell everyone who's here? I met a lovely woman today.
Yeah, it's the lady that birthed me, my mom.
And I hear you also work for the community.
Yes, I'm a crossing guard right on 95th
Oh.
and
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Whoa.
Yes. We had some unfortunate news about the cupcakes.
Oh, yeah.
But But Sonia definitely has a plan,
Okay.
so we will still have cupcakes, they just won't be from Small Cakes.
No, yeah, I heard they closed.
Alright, Ashley, on that note.
We go from the highs of great discipline to the lows of cupcakes.
Alright, so I am sharing tonight, we just had an Institute Day, last Friday. We tried something different this year, which was interesting. We attended an area-wide Institute Day that South Cook put on. So they did this last year. We did not participate last year, kind of wanted to see how it went before we brought everyone there. It had really great feedback after last year, and I would say maybe mixed a little bit this year, but we had over 900 attendees that attended. There were 10 school districts that participated. Part of the day consisted of 2 keynotes, Fuel for Success, and then 77 flavors. The 77 flavors was really about just the community and the community of South Cook and Chicago and how that impacts students and their history. And I would say feedback from our people were left a little bit to be desired on the keynotes, I would say. We were a little bit disappointed from that. You weren't there, I didn't see you. You were? I didn't even see you all day. I guess 900 attendees, I didn't see you.
Last year's was 100% better. I don't know what they did this year. It was just.
Well, that makes me feel better because I was like, seriously, there was really good feedback from last year.
Last year was great.
Okay, yeah.
This year.
Okay, yeah, thanks, Rachel, for the agree.
With speakers with a lot of the things.
It was, yeah, not as great. So there were 202 breakout sessions. They included things on networking, which what we were really looking for is a lot of times it's hard for us to find things for like our specials teachers and our tech teachers and PE teachers and things that really speak specifically to them. So this was an opportunity where they could network, there were sessions where they could network with other art teachers or other music teachers. And even our grade level teams could meet with other first grade teachers from other districts. And so there was a lot of things that we were really looking from this. Student engagement, there were a lot of sessions on SEL, on behavior, MTSS, even self-care, yoga, and Tai Chi. I did talk to one of our teachers who was very excited. She's like, I chose a Tai Chi session this morning. I did a yoga session. I'm going to a session on optimism. She was very excited about her day. What we do find a lot of times with breakout sessions like that, it kind of depends on what you pick. You might pick a session that is great, and then you pick one that's a dud. So I would say of the 3 that I went to, one of them was really outstanding for the day. And so my hope is that most people that went at least found one session that really met their needs or spoke to what they were interested in. We did have D124 representation, which was wonderful. Julie Kelly and Matt Orman presented guided GAB, engaging discussion techniques, and they had very high feedback. Some from our people, but they said they're not being biased. It really was the best session they went to. Amanda presented on relationship building. Allie Wilson presented on collaboration in the classroom, and Rob Leininger presented on scaffolding up, tips and strategies for multilingual learners. So I would say my biggest takeaway from the day is that we have gotten to a place where we have built capacity amongst our staff to really put on some really great breakout sessions like that. And I think that we have resources that we could do something similar to this and maybe bring in some people that, can help meet some of those other needs and do something like this more here. I don't know that we would necessarily take part again, but it was a learning experience. We bussed people there. That was my biggest thing. I'm like, I don't want to be late, and I don't want to leave anybody there. And we successfully were not late, and we successfully did not leave anybody there. So that was my huge win from the day. But I do think that there were some takeaways, and I don't think it was a wash, but I think that you live and learn, and that makes me feel better, Rachel, that it was not just
It was a completely different from the year before.
Okay,
I say try again.
You think so? You think so?
I don't think you're gonna get.
I don't know that I'm gonna get my people to try again.
Professional development for everybody is.
It's hard to meet everybody's needs, and I think I was pretty hopeful that this would accomplish some of that, and I don't know that it did everything that we wanted it to, but you live and you learn.
And the keynotes were really disappointing.
I mean, that.
Bring in the best keynotes here too.
We do bring in the best keynotes here, so I think that
I know,
D124
I
had a
think,
pretty
yeah.
high bar. But yeah, it was
What it is.
stunningly
But
bad.
last year they had great keynote, you know, last year was completely different, I don't know what.
And I think that's what I was most, cause I have known, we can do good breakouts here, we do that for our academy
Yeah.
day, but it's hard to come up with keynotes, and so I was hopeful that those would start the day off well, and not as much as we would like, so. So, that's my report.
Okay.
Thanks, Jen.
Thank you.
Thanks, yeah. All right, next up, Rebecca Terrell, LEA designation review.
I feel like we have to change up the order once in a while, because I'm always last and everyone's like, we're almost last.
True, actually.
Okay, so I am reporting on the annual LEA determination. So I'm just gonna review a little bit of what that is. So each year, the state evaluates individual school districts, or otherwise known as LEA, local education agencies, on meeting the requirements of IDEA. So that process is called the LEA determination. The purpose is to make sure that each school district is following special education laws, meeting timelines, and providing accurate data when reporting on student services and outcomes. So when they're making the determinations, they're looking at performance on compliance indicators. I listed them and I'll go over them when we look at the matrix. Correction of non-compliance, audit findings, and then timely, valid, and reliable data. And then based on that information, they give ratings. So either meets, needs assistance, needs intervention, and needs substantial intervention. So the purpose of obviously the ratings is for the state to provide school districts with the level of support and oversight that they need. So here is, ooh, that looks weird, but here is the 2024 LEA determination matrix. So the indicators and targets are on the left. And these are aligned with the ISB goals related to student learning. So they measure in 5 groups: early childhood outcomes, they measure in secondary outcomes, which I didn't list on there, they're not relevant to us. Those deal with graduation rates and transition planning. But then there's additional outcomes, fiscal outcomes, and data. So the targets, it's aligned with the support system risk assessment rubric, which is what then gives the rating scores of 3, which meeting or exceeding, 2 below target and improved from last year, 1 below target and stayed the same, and then 0 is below and not meeting. So I'm gonna kind of go through them. So our early childhood outcomes, this is something I've reported on and talked a little bit about the past couple of years. So we are at a score of 2. So we've moved the needle. 2023, we were at 15.30% to 22.60%. And what this is looking at is the amount of students in our general education program or at-risk program that are identified with IEPs and receiving the majority of their services in the general ed classroom. So what we've really been focusing on is building a more inclusive preschool environment. So as you know, we have early childhood sections and then we have our at-risk sections. So our special ed committee has really been targeting a least restrictive environment at the preschool level. Last year, I'm gonna credit Allie Wilson and the subcommittee for doing a lot of the work. We were going to neighboring districts that have like a fully inclusive preschool model, observing those classrooms, sitting down with those teachers, sitting down with those related service providers and talking about what that could look like. So this year, for the majority of our students that have IEPs in our pre-K programs, they're receiving their services and supports within that gen ed classroom. So our service providers are pushing into those classrooms. And one of the things that we also obviously had to do was provide a lot of that professional development to those teachers and related service providers. But one of the things that we were able to do, fortunately, is kind of recreate the calendar for our preschool students. So obviously, as part of our grant, we have to have so many days, which is less than the actual amount of school days students have. So instead of flipping our half days, we've kind of held those days for more collaborative time. So for our gen ed teachers and those related service providers to really work on that collaboration time on those days. So we're gonna continue as a subcommittee to look at what more we can do to continue kind of moving the needle to look at, to get closer to that state target. So obviously, we know as a district that we're running out of space. So we're looking at other creative ways to do that, whether it's partnering with neighboring preschools or even talking about flipping one of our early childhood sections into a pre-K at-risk section. Obviously, as a subcommittee, we really have to look at the trends in our numbers. You know, we do know, we have an idea of our 0 to 3 students that'll be transitioning if they are receiving services through early intervention. But what we've seen, I think, the last year is that a lot of our students that are coming to our screenings are what Allie likes to say is off the streets, like not receiving any services. So we have a really great partnership with SXU and Lori Winkler. We have a really great partnership with our Birth to 3 program, but just, you know, trying to get the word out and looking for our students. There's a lot of little ones out there, and our numbers keep going up. So we obviously opened up 2 pre-K sections at Southwest in January, which was well needed. But again, there's just a lot of students. And one of the things that you might not know is that in our gen ed classrooms, you have to distribute it. So you can't have a whole classroom of students with IEP. So you have to keep that at least 70-30. So you really have to watch those numbers and account for all of those. So we're filling up quickly. So we are going to have to continue to be creative to meet the needs of all of our students. More and more of the little ones are needing support. So making progress, but not where we want to be. So our other indicators, so Part C to Part B, 100%, those are transitions. So making sure that we're identifying all those students that are in early intervention and evaluating and writing IEPs for those students before their third birthday. So the additional outcomes, we have our LRE for our K through 8th grade students. So we're at a 1 because we basically stayed the same if you see 47.50%, 47.40%. This is another area that we've really been looking at again in our special education subcommittee and just talking obviously as a team and through our building leaders. We have been receiving more and more students with IEPs and more restrictive placements, but we continue to make sure that at all of our students that are in our self-contained classrooms, that their IEPs are accurate and really reflect any opportunities that they have to push into gen ed, whether it's art, gym, or music, even small amounts of times during reading. One of the other things that we're piloting this year is we're working with a consultant who is taking our Eureka curriculum and adapting it to meet the needs of our diverse learners in our 2nd through 5th grade at Southeast. So our hope is that we're gonna build some capacity and get more students, to close their learning gaps, but be able to push into those gen ed classrooms, and then even bringing that, you know, across the district to support our other students that are really struggling. And then hopefully pushing that out to math as well. Reading as well. So more students being exposed to gen ed curriculum, therefore staying in their own buildings, in their classrooms. So that's one of the things. Also really working on PD for our gen ed teachers, as well as like accommodating and modifying students to keep them in gen ed and least restrictive environment. And then suspensions and expulsions, 4B, 9, and indicator 10 really are looking at disproportionality, and just we're meeting in those areas, so there's no over-identification based on race or ethnicity for students with IEPs for suspension or expulsion. We're not over-identifying students with IEPs based on race or ethnicity, disproportionality, not over-identifying in any specific disability category, and then child find is 100%. So making sure that any student who is referred for special education, we evaluate that we complete that evaluation within 60 days. And then the compliance and fiscal risk, we have no audit findings. We are compliant and we provide timely, valid, and reliable data. So overall, we are in a good place. I just really want that clicker sometimes, Dan, sorry. So here is the total score. So we're at 27, total points possible is 30. Anything from 85% or above, we are meeting requirements and we're tier 1 level of support with the state, which is good. But we're obviously continuing to work on a ton of things that we need to, especially when it comes to LRE. So it's a lot of information. Anyone have any questions?
Oh, this looks good.
Yeah.
Definitely trending in the very right
Trending in the right direction. I said, I feel like this is the first year I feel like, all right, a lot of what we're doing is we're
Like you
seeing
said,
results.
I feel like these are, like, a lot of these targets are a lot harder to meet in some cases than you just think in terms of schedules and working with all of those things to make sure that the kids are put in the right place, so.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a very strong score and,
Yeah.
good work to you and the team.
I mean, kudos to our principals too. I feel like we are, definitely having more collaborative conversations, not only with our, building teams, but with our principals about how we can meet students' needs, within the general ed classroom, and just being creative and flexible. And I feel like that is definitely something that at the department, the district level, and I feel like it really is because of the building leaders that we have. So just falls on principal week that I'm saying that. But no, I think that we appreciate that, all the collaboration and creativity that everybody wants what's best for kids. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Eric.
Eric's always last.
Eric is always last.
I didn't want
That's
to
right.
I'll say it for you, Eric.
Freedom of information request, we had one public records request. It was from Steve Watts, and that has been finished. Statement of expenditures, nothing crazy expenditure-wise. Salaries and benefits are the main expenditures. We're staying relatively on par to last year. We're at 23% of our total expenditure from the budget for this year and 20% at the same time of last year. Revenue-wise, again, we still have not received any property tax payments yet from the state. We had a meeting last week with the township, and all I could say right now, I wouldn't worry about it, but all I could say is that the timing of it is they have to give a 30-day notice before the bills are supposed to be collected. So to my knowledge, there has been no notice sent out, so it's at least 30 days from right now.
30 days from that date.
So.
But what an excellent example as to why it's so important to maintain a healthy fund balance.
Literally, that's about to be like a good thing, our fund reserves are at 8 months.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, but this is bothering me, I don't like that. Yeah, it's really
Too much
annoying. So hopefully, in the next couple months, that'll change.
But I feel like, to your point though, Jen, I feel like years ago, that would have been,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
this would have been a big
problem.
issue. You know, the fact that like fiscally, things have been cleaned up does make it to where you're like, kind of sucks, but it's not the worst thing we could be dealing with at this point.
Right, we can deal with it
We
right now.
don't have to take out a loan from York
Yes.
County.
Yeah.
And as a result, the fund balance went down a little bit. You will notice that the capital projects, and I spoke about this last month, is negative, but the working cash fund, we're going to do a transfer over to the capital project, so that'll go into the positive. So now a presentation of the tentative tax levy. Today I will be presenting the aggregate tax levy estimated to the school board. Next month, I'll be putting the final tax levy to you guys, November 18th, and then I have to file it by December 31st to Cook County. This is a slide of the CPI history, tax cap history since CPI started. And it's just to show in the gray is this year, so it's a 2.9%. Compared to last year, it was a 3.4 and the two were 5%. So it just tells you why it's important to capture every percent because you never know what CPI is gonna be. Like the one year with 2009, it was 0.3, and you can see not a lot of progress there with that. There's a breakdown of our revenues from the fiscal year 26 budget to show the importance of our real estate taxes. It takes up 67% of our revenues we bring in every year, and it just shows how important it is to our students' educations. Now this is the recommended tax levy for levy year 2025. It is a 2.9% CPI increase, and the requested levy is for a total of $26,715,000. My recommendation is to adopt a tax levy that'll capture the 2.9% growth in the district's limiting fund above its prior year maximum allowable extension. Now, this is, as of last year, this is a new requirement, this PA report. So the PA report is to prove that your operating, a 3-year average operating expense is, your fund balance is 250% or more than your 3-year operating expenditures, then you have to do a deficit plan. And we are not close to that. So we're at 47.98%, but we have gone up, which is a good thing, so, yeah. Any questions? Yep. Thank you.
Clap for everyone, so nice.
I think Eric got extra claps though.
He did.
Money's always popular. Okay, well, going into the public comments now, do I have any green cards? We have no green cards. All right, per Board of Education Policy 2230, a few reminders specifically about the logistics for the public comment portion of every meeting, including this evening. As is posted on our agenda publicly for every meeting to respect all of our stakeholders, our commenters, our board, our public, we adhere very closely to a 3-minute limit for comments for everyone. We will set a timer and we expect everyone to respect their 3 minutes. In addition, we do not respond to public comments at board meetings, but we hear them, we respect, we listen to, and we take into account all community member concerns. If there are specific questions that come up that we can respond to after the meeting, we or an appropriate district employee will do so in a timely manner. All right, jumping into board reports. Mr. Shepherd, if you could please report out on the informational bond session that we had last week.
A scary meeting, no.
David was giving his own TED Talk at the end of it, man. You lit it up.
We had a lot of fun. No, so prior to going into that, we had a meeting before the safety and security, and we were all sitting in the room, we were saying, we don't know. Are there like pitchforks out there, tiki torches, they're gonna show up, we had no idea. We walked in the room, smiley field, maybe 50-50. But they were nice. That's all I can say. The community was very nice. We didn't get called any bad names. No one cursed at us. They didn't throw anything at us, Dr. Willen gave a wonderful PowerPoint presentation. It was really simple and easy to follow that the community member could understand what the stakes were, what we were up against, what we were trying to do. We had a community member speak that was supporting us. We did take a Q&A at the end, which I'm really interested to see what a Q&A will be, actually like live and in person. I just really want to know what are the adversities that we need to overcome. And if we don't get that feedback, we don't know how to go later, brainstorm to come back to maybe that next session. So there's only one thing that I was gonna say. Maybe, I don't know why I'm saying this, but maybe we should. Maybe we should. I know it's been advised that we shouldn't, but you have all the social media groups out there. And there's a lot of them in Evergreen right now, and they're talking and they're chatting. And we can capture some of the things off those social medias, but I'm the person like, hey, come to the room, talk to me, tell me what's the problem. And give me all your no's so I can make them all yes. And that's what I would really like to do. Although I've already did my session, my other board members will be at the other sessions, just a suggestion, just an idea. I did give a little speech at the end. I don't know, just came to mind. I just tried to ask the community members to just find something, in their family or a reason why that they could do this, that they could help us build this school. My granddaughters are here. My daughter went to the school. course. She graduated, she moved away for a year. They bought a house back in Evergreen Park, so they're back in the community, and my granddaughters will be going to this school system. That's my reason, you know. Evergreen Park has did very well for me. I've been here since 1999 when we moved here. And I was telling all the members, my house is appreciated well over $100,000. You know, that's because of good schooling. That's because of a safe community. That's because people are moving in to Evergreen. There's 4 new families that moved in on my block alone that had children that we know they're gonna go to our communities, you know, schools. And I also told them that, hey, listen, you know, when you're buying a house, you're looking at, you know, safety and security is first, like what kind of neighborhood is in you first. Second thing is schools. That's the second thing. And if next door over in, you know, Oak Lawn, you know, if they have good schools and good community and everything, they're gonna bypass us and go over there. And then your property taxes are going to be, you know, stagnant. They're not gonna grow. And then what do you do? Because if you don't have money, you can't improve schools. You can't improve schools, you can't attract people to live here. So with that, it was a pretty good meeting, in my opinion. Like I said, there was only one person that left during the meeting. Not sure. Maybe she had something to do. Maybe she was cooking a roast or something and she didn't leave, get home. I don't know. That was a good signal that they didn't leave, and you know, they didn't throw any cabbage at us or nothing like that, so that was a good thing also. And if any of my board members don't need, you know, if y'all schedules conflict, I'll fill in for you. But I'm in good spirit that it was successful and that we're moving forward. That's my report.
Thank you, David. Well, now I've got a resolution on board committees, but I'm not sure where that resolution is.
Is it in the packet? It's, I can speak to it.
It was in the packet, but it's also in the signature file, so.
Okay. Stay tuned, everybody. Perfect. Do I read the resolution now, or do we do it at vote?
You do it at vote.
Okay.
And I can just summarize it briefly if you'd like me to.
Please.
So this is the follow-up from our attorney presentation regarding board-related committees versus superintendent committees. So if you recall, we have to be very strategic in terms of what board committees are because of OMA. As a result, Nikki Baser advised that we adopt a resolution to specify based on our policy what our board-related committees are and name the remaining as superintendent committees. So I'm gonna give you a very concrete example. When we have policy committee, Sonia is now gonna be joining us because that's a designated policy on our policy that specifies that's a board-related committee. We will have to post minutes and an agenda, okay? The safety committee is a superintendent committee. As a result, you saw I had multiple members of my administrative team there. It was very collaborative in nature. You as board members can still report out on it, but it is a superintendent-related committee, doesn't require minutes, does not require an agenda. Because we didn't have any history related to what the committee functions were previously, she recommended that we adopt this resolution to specify that we're going to stick with the board committees that are listed in our policy because that's what we do best as board members. So that's exactly what the resolution says.
Wonderful. Can't wait to read it.
Yep.
Okay. So next we've got the finance committee. I'll be reporting out on that. You're gonna have to excuse me here because I gotta go through my notes because it was actually September 17th last month. So Eric walked us through revenues report, and basically the tentative levy was sort of discussed then. We were looking at fund balances, we were kind of finalizing the annual budget at that time, I recall. Doing a deep dive on expenditures, just looking at the largest increases in expenditures year over year. We're a school district, so it's no surprise that it was salaries and benefits, because that's what we do. We looked at annual growth and just some salary increase projections as it related to the ending of our current CBA and just starting to investigate the upcoming CBA that we'll start negotiating soon in the future. That was pretty much it. It was really cut and dry. Us numbers guys love it though, right?
That is so true.
And so next, we're gonna have a report out on safety and security, so Dr. Michael Thomas, if you could please.
So we had our safety and security meeting, just over a week ago at Central, before we had the bond referendum meeting. So it was myself, Mr. Shepherd, Dr. Woodland, Mr. Liska, he was there to help out. Jim, we had a bunch of us just talking about like the idea, Eric was there, of what are some points of interest in terms of keeping our schools safe, keeping our kids safe within our community, especially when those kids are like under our kind of jurisdiction. So we talked about a variety of things, including like technology, like what are some things that we could do to maybe enhance technology, enhance security, so if things do happen, we have more visual evidence of what was taking place. We talked about like physical facility issues, like, doors, things like that, where like people are like, oh, these things might stick. How are ways that we could like improve upon these facilities to make sure that like our buildings are all secure, our buildings are all taken care of. With some of those items, we talked about communication, like what should the lines of communication be if someone notices one of these things? How do we go about reporting that to make sure that like from point A to Jim's, team, like everything's communicated, everything's documented so we can take care of those things in a timely fashion. We talked about staffing, we talked about John and Danielle doing such a wonderful job. But this idea of like how can we like alter our staffing in some cases to make sure that we are keeping our buildings as safe, keeping our students as like, focused on education and not worrying about, any other thing that could fly off in school. Officer Wright, all of those aspects in terms of like making sure that we're staffing our buildings properly. We talked about working with our community, enlisting some ideas in terms of like campaigns or things that we could put out there as a school district to make sure that, the community knows kind of like where do we stand, or if the community has issues, like how can we be preventative? I know John talked about the idea of like, let's be proactive rather than reactive. So what are some of those things that we can do as a school district to send messages not only to educate our students, but sometimes to educate our families about things that could keep us safe and secure. David threw out there, he comes from a law enforcement background, like things like locking up weapons and things like that, just to make sure that our kids are in the best position to stay safe. Then as I said, as we continue to meet, we've asked to like think about other topics, other things that like could be brought to us in terms of making sure that like, 124 stays a safe, happy community, happy place for kids to learn, as the kids were just talking about today, clean up any little thing so we don't have to deal with big problems that could arise.
Just add, like, sometimes when you attend meetings, you don't really think about, you learn something new at almost every meeting you go to. I did not really realize that, like, when Dan was talking about, like, the blacktop and, like, getting out the Wi-Fi. Never really thought about that, but yeah, if everybody's outside of the building and we can't connect to the Wi-Fi inside of the building, that's a necessity. So I never thought about it. I was like, that was pretty good. I never thought about that. So we discussed a couple of things, like, do we need more resource officers? Hey, we brainstormed that. It was just so many things that you really don't think about until you're in a room with other people collaborating about like, hey, what about this? What about that? As simple as, like Mike said, door sticking. It might not be a thing to, hey, a door stuck, but no, that could be the way someone enters the school because that door never secured itself. And we had a conversation about the rug. We brainstormed on this one rug. It was amazing. Because the rug was stopping this door from closing, and we were like, do we use tape? Do we buy a new rug? But like we were all in a room and we were figuring it out, and it was pretty cool. So I really enjoy these meetings.
Thanks, David.
All right, next up, the 2025 Resolutions Committee Report. Mrs. Denise Jones, if you please.
Yes, very briefly, does anyone have any questions regarding the 2025 Resolutions Committee Report that will be presented at the IASB conference next month? I emailed it to you all. There are 10 consent agendas under the constitutional portion and one resolution consent agenda under, of course, the resolution. The one resolution is in regards to the school bus safety funding. which was proposed by Sycamore CUSD 427. And ISB definitely recommends to adopt all the items. You all have them in your email, you can review them, and then we can vote on them next month, if that's okay.
Make a note of that. Thank you, Mrs. Jones.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving on, action items. We have a consent agenda in front of us tonight. Item A, 1, approve monthly transaction reports for September 2025. 2, approve fund balance reports for September 2025. 3, approve expenditure report and projected payroll report for October 2025. Pardon me. 4, approve board minutes from regular meeting of September 17, 2025. 5, approve the closed session minutes from the regular meeting of September 17, 2025. 6, approve destruction of closed session tapes from June 2021. 7, we have some personnel recommendations, 5 additions, 2 resignations. Item B, approve long-term substitute pay increase. Item C, approve permanent substitute pay increase.
We gotta vote
We gotta vote on the consent.
Motion to approve.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, I was like, oh, this is a
Motion to
long consent
approve
agenda.
consent agenda item.
All right, do I have a motion for the consent agenda?
Motion to approve consent agenda item A.
With their second, perfect. May I have a roll call, please?
Okay, Dr. Michael Thomas?
Yes.
Denise Jones?
Yes.
Rachel Merrickwin, yes. O'Neill Gray?
Yay.
David Shepherd?
Yes.
Lauren Dowden?
Yay.
Michael Allmiller?
Yay.
Motion passed.
Wonderful. All right, item B, approve long-term substitute pay increase from 212 a day to 225 a day. Do I have a first?
Motion to approve agenda item B.
Thank you. Is there a second?
A second.
Wonderful. May I have a roll call, please?
Sure. Dr. Michael Thomas?
Yes.
David Shepherd?
Yes.
Lauren Dowden? Rachel Merrickwin, yes. Denise Jones?
Yes.
O'Neill Gray?
Yay.
Michael Allmiller?
Yay.
Motion passed.
Excellent, thank you. Item C, approve permanent substitute pay increase from 225 a day to 250 a day. Do I have a first?
Motion to approve agenda item C.
Excellent. Is there a second?
A second.
May I have a roll call, please?
Sure. Dr. Michael Thomas?
Yes.
David Shepherd?
Yes.
O'Neill Gray?
Yay.
Lauren Dowden?
Yay.
Rachel Merrickwin, yes. Denise Jones?
Yes.
Michael Allmiller?
Yay.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Item D, establish tax levy hearing date and time, which will be November 18, 2025. Do I have a first?
Motion to approve the tax levy date and time.
Is there a second?
I'll follow.
Wonderful. And could we have a roll call, please?
Dr. Michael Thomas?
Yes.
O'Neill Gray?
Yes.
Lauren Dowden?
Yay.
Rachel Merrickwin, yes. Denise Jones?
Yes.
David Shepherd?
Yes.
Michael Allmiller?
Yay.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Item E, approve tentative tax levy as presented this evening by Mr. Grossi. Do I have a first?
Motion to approve the tentative tax levy.
Excellent. Is there a second?
I'll second.
And a roll call, please.
Dr. Michael Thomas?
Yes.
Rachel Merrickwin, yes. Denise Jones?
Yes.
David Shepherd?
Yes.
O'Neill Gray?
Yes.
Lauren Dowden?
Yay.
Michael Allmiller?
Yay.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Item F, approve first reading of revised board policy 8110, public suggestions and concerns as recommended by the Illinois Association of School Boards. Is there a first?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
And a roll
Beat
call,
you.
please.
Jumping in there. Rachel Merrickwin, yes. Dr. Michael Thomas?
Yes.
David Shepherd?
Yes.
O'Neill Gray?
Yes.
Denise Jones?
Yes.
Lauren Dowden?
Yay.
Michael Allmiller?
Yay.
Motion passed.
Excellent. Item G, approve second reading and adoption of revised board policy 8110, public suggestions and concerns as recommended by the Illinois Association of School Boards.
First.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Denise Jones?
Yes.
Dr. Michael Thomas?
Yes.
O'Neill Gray?
Yay.
Rachel Merrickwin, yes. Lauren Dowden?
Yay.
David Shepherd?
Yes.
Michael Allmiller?
Yay.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Item H, approve first reading of new board policy 7254, students who are parents or expectant parents as recommended by the board policy committee. Is there a first?
I'll first.
Second.
Can I have a roll
They
call, please?
separated.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I know. David Shepherd?
Yes.
Dr. Michael Thomas?
Yes.
Lauren Dowden?
Yay.
Denise Jones?
Yes.
Rachel Merrickwin, yes. O'Neill Gray?
Yay.
Michael Ohlmiller?
Yay.
Motion passed.
Excellent, thank you. Item I, approve second reading and adoption of new board policy 7254, students who are parents or expected parents, as recommended by the board policy committee. Is there a first?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Could I have a roll call, please?
Okay, Rachel Merrickwin, yes. Dr. Michael Thomas? David Shepherd?
Yes.
Lauren Dowden?
Yay.
O'Neill Gray?
Yay.
Denise Jones?
Yes.
Michael Ohlmiller?
Yay.
Motion passed.
Hey, how about for these last three, we tried that thing that Denise showed us from Arrow? You guys wanna do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Item J, approve first reading of new board policy 7256, victims of domestic or sexual violence as recommended by the board policy committee. Is there a first?
Aye.
Is there a second?
Second.
And roll call, please.
to previous
Right.
Any objections?
Any objections to previous rule?
Secretary's gotta do it.
You gotta do that first and then,
And then there's
and
no,
then do that, right?
So you're the one that
I don't
knows
think
this,
we do
huh?
first or second then, we just do
No, I
any
think she
objections.
Oh, we
just-
can just jump right in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Beautiful, thank
So
you.
any objections to the previous rule?
There you go.
All right,
Wonderful,
motion passed.
okay. Item K, approve second reading and adoption of new board policy 7256, victims of domestic or sexual violence as recommended by the board policy committee. Are there any oppositions to the previous
Any
rule?
objection to the previous rule? Okay, motion passed.
Bang.
It's
Item
a lot
L,
easier.
it is, isn't it?
It's a lot of them today.
But you're still supposed to first and second it, and then any objections to the
Really?
previous rule, yeah.
Are you sure? Okay.
You just tell me how to do it, we'll do it that way.
Still
I will
first and-
All right, well, I did first,
motion to approve agenda item J, or K, a lot of letters here,
Okay, yeah,
K.
Okay.
all right, who's second?
Okay.
Okay, and then any objection to previous rule?
Yeah.
All right, we'll get there.
We're
We're gonna
gonna crush it on this
We're
one, I
gonna get
feel it.
Item L, approve resolution on board committees.
First.
And a second.
Second.
Any objection to previous rule? All right, motion passed.
Wonderful.
Good.
Okay. Do I need to read it now?
We'll
read it later.
Yeah, I don't think he needs to.
He doesn't need to, okay, good.
Okay, so at this time, we're gonna recess to closed session to discuss the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the district or legal counsel for the district, including hearing testimony on a complaint lodged against an employee or against legal counsel for the district to determine its validity, 5 ILCS 120/2C1, and collective negotiating matters between the district and its employees or their representatives, or deliberations concerning salary schedules for one or more classes of employees, 5 ILCS 120/2C2. Thanks for coming, everybody. Stream is gonna stop at this time. Please grab your last ever small cakes on your way out.
Last ever.
Oh, and you're welcome to stay, but we just don't know when we're coming back.
Here is a
It is
small plate.